Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so let's take a look at the accuracy of this GMT Master 2. Now, I've had this watch for exactly a week, and in 2 hours, it'll be exactly 1 week that Rolex set it. And I haven't been into the crown. I haven't unwound it. I haven't wound it. I haven't reset it. And let's see what kind of accuracy. Well, you can see it's -1. And if you've been following me this week, you know that it got down to -2 seconds, but through some good advice, I've been taking it off at night and leaving it dial up, and that seems to have gained me some time, so I'll take it. Right, so welcome to Watch Symposium. Right behind me, Tokyo Station. Going to have the all black bezel changed out to the Coke bezel. And let's talk GMT Master. Let's just say, let's talk Rolex GMT bezel history. All right, so, well, the 6542 came out in 1954. Ran for 6 years until 1959, and that was the very first GMT Master 2. No, what am I talking about? It's not a Master 2, it's just a Master. The local hand was connected to the 24-hour hand, so you needed to use the bezel. All right, and first couple years it had the Pepsi Bakelite bezel, and then they pretty quickly, because it started cracking, switched to the aluminum bezel. And that gave way then in 1959 to the 1675. And that ran until 1980. And early 70s, the birth of the all black. So the original bezel was the Pan Am colors, right? The Pan Am colors, the Pepsi, the blue and red. And some people say that the way they have it designed, you know, the blue is the evening, and then the red is like the daytime. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Possibly, but those are definitely some Pan Am bezel colors. All right. So 70s, early 70s, this thing is born. All right, and the 1675 gives way to the 16750. That's still a straight GMT. The local hand is connected to the 24-hour hand. And that runs from about, I want to say, 81 to 88. And in 83, branches off. And the 16760 is born. And that was the first GMT Master 2, the Sophia Loren, or the Fat Lady as it's called. And that was the first time where you could separate the local hour hand from the 24-hour hand. And it came in Coke. That was the birth of the Coke. So that was 1983. And that's the only way you can find the Fat Lady in the Coke bezel configuration. And so the Coke bezel was born in 1983, and the Fat Lady is the predecessor to the 16710. You could say, oh, we can call it the grandfather. It's the Sophia Loren. It's the Fat Lady. It's the grandmother of this watch. And there you have it. So the oldest and most traditional is the Pepsi, the blue and the black. What am I talking about? The blue and the red. And then comes the black. Then comes the Coke. And of course, when it became ceramic, the BLNR. Now, it's kind of interesting because the way I look at these is the Pepsi is, of course, the blue and the red, and that's the Pan Am colors. And then they came out in the 1970s, early 1970s, with the black. And that's sort of the vanilla. That's sort of like, hey, forget Pan Am. This is just a straight up Rolex, okay? Straight up vanilla GMT. And then when the Fat Lady came out in 1983, they thought, hey, you know, let's take the red from the Pepsi and let's take the black and let's combine it into what came to be the Coke. And then on in the 2000s with the ceramic BLNR, they thought, okay, well, we took the red from the Pepsi and we took the black from the all black. Let's keep the black and let's add the blue from the Pepsi, and hence the Batman was born. And so I kind of look at the Pepsi as sort of the traditional, and this is like the vanilla, and the Coke as like kind of a mixture of the two, and BLNR as a mixture of the two. So gonna take this in, and I've got the grandfather watch on the ready, and I think it'll be about a week, but I don't know if I can pick it up until like 2 weeks. So we're gonna have to maybe use the Hydronaut, perhaps the Explorer 2. You know, I could have actually taken the Oyster off and the Jubilee off and used the Jubilee on the Explorer 2, but for some reason, I don't know, that seems kind of weird to me now. It's gonna take some getting used to. I don't know, I really associate the Jubilee with this watch, and yeah, it just feels like I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. I was really looking forward to doing that, being the nonconformist. Now it's like not really appealing to me, but we'll see. I've got to do it at least a little bit, right? But anyway, off to Rolex. Rolex is right behind me this way. Let's go. If I could only choose one, which way would I go? Well, I wouldn't say the Rolex is a dime a dozen, but it's replaceable. The Timex, on the other hand, pretty irreplaceable. That was my grandfather's watch. But if I had to choose, sorry, Grandpa. That's what you get for choosing a skitter. All right, so 2 weeks from today, I go back and I get it, and it's going to be about 17,000 something yen. And I checked about a pressure check for the Hydronaut because I'm not really keen on getting an overhaul because it's 63,000 yen. But for less than $100, they can do a pressure check. Now, if you get an overhaul, it's warranted for 2 years. But if you get a pressure check, it just means that at this moment, it's water resistant. But the next day, if you take it to the beach and water breaches the case, there's no recourse. So he said, I recommend an overhaul. Of course, right? I mean, it's safer, but quite a bit more expensive. So, what'll I do? It's just a Hydronaut. I'll probably go with a pressure check, but that takes a few weeks. So, anyway. Got the grandfather watch, and thanks for tagging along. We'll see how it looks in 2 weeks, the Coke. Hey, maybe now I can finally start wearing that Vostok that I haven't even sized yet. Ugh. All right, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time.